Hi guys, Happy New Year. It's the first job search question of the week video in 2012 and I am outside at a park in January in Chicago. It is absolutely gorgeous. My son is playing and so I thought I would do a quick video and enjoy the weather while I can. I hope that you had a relaxing holiday season. I hope that you are energized and recharged and ready to get your job search going in the new year and land that job of your dreams. And I hope that I could help. I have just rolled out a bunch of new services and offerings for job seekers. I wrote about it on my blog on Wednesday, and so I'm going to put the link below so that you can check that out. One thing I wanted to tell you about, though, is a free webinar that's happening next Wednesday, January 11th, and it's on networking to job search success. Everywhere you go these days, you hear about networking and the importance of it in landing that next job, but rarely do you hear how to do it. So I'm going to tell you in a quick 30 minutes how to network online and offline to land a job. So I hope you'll join me. I'm going to put the link to the registration form below as well. So I didn't get a question this week, but what I have for you is a short presentation about phone screens. I spent the last 2 weeks working with a new client who had 4 positions to fill, a ton of candidates, and we needed to do a lot of phone screens to kind of narrow those candidates down to the best 3 to 5 for the hiring manager to meet with. And so I spent literally days straight on the phone talking to candidate after candidate for these 4 positions. And in that, I got a lot of good tips and tricks and things to do and things not to do when you are on a phone screen. That is really your gateway. You need to get in a building, into an interview in front of somebody, and the way to do that is typically through the phone screen. So I hope this helps. I think there's some great information here, and as I said, it comes from live experience. It comes from lots of phone screens over the past couple of weeks. So I hope you're doing well. If you have a question, please leave it on the Facebook page or on the wall there, and it'll be answered in an upcoming video. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Alright guys, so here we go with things to remember during a phone screening. Now keep in mind, as I said in my intro, this is from days of back-to-back phone screenings recently, so this just happened. This is real life experience from a recruiter who has spent a lot of time on the phone with applicants and is going to give you the top 5 things that came out of my adventure over the past 2 weeks of doing a lot of phone screens. The first thing seems simple, but it's not, and that's to answer the phone. Now, I schedule my phone screens, so I don't just call someone out of the blue. I schedule them because I want you to be prepared. So I realize there are some recruiters who call you out of the blue and want to do a phone screen. You know, you do have to act a little differently with them. But when the call is scheduled, you should answer the phone. If I say I'm going to call at 10, you should answer the phone at 10. And so you need to do whatever you're going to have to do to be by the phone. And you need to figure out time zones. If they're in a different time zone, make sure you understand which time zone. But whatever time somebody says they're going to call you for a phone screen, answer the phone. The second thing is know why I'm calling. You should have already done company and position research when you applied. You should be tailoring your resume and your cover letter. So you want to already have that research. You should have kept it and had it somewhere so that if the company called, you would be able to look at it quickly and kind of refresh your memory on the company and the position that you applied for. Even if you didn't do research already, you now have the time. So before the phone screen actually happens, you want to know a little bit about the company or a lot about the company, and definitely remember the position that you applied for. Look back at the job description. Think about why you're going to be a good fit. Number 3, avoid distractions. These can be pets, children, common household noises like the dishwasher, the washing machine, and then sketchy cell service. So I realize that it's hard to control when your dog barks. and it's hard to control your children screaming sometimes. But do everything in your power to be in a quiet place. If you know you have this phone screen, you can go into a room maybe where you can shut the door. Your kids aren't going to be running around in there. Your dog is not going to be sitting in there with you and potentially bark. So you can avoid those noise distractions, because if I'm listening to your dog bark, I'm not listening to what you're telling me about your work history and why you're so great for this job. Sketchy cell service is a big one. I always encourage people, if you have a landline still, use that for your phone interviews. Cell phones, they go in and out, and even though you always have great service in one part of your house, you just never know when it's going to go out on you. And so nothing is more frustrating than getting into a phone interview and then 5 minutes in, a call drops. You have to go in and call them again and get kind of the question and answer groove going, and then the call drops again. And so just be very careful if you are using your cell phone about sketchy cell service. I had several last week who never even answered my call, and they said it was because their phone didn't ring. They got my message an hour later because they were in a place where they had bad cell service. So things to keep in mind. Those are definitely distractions if the call keeps dropping. One thing I want you to definitely do in a phone screen is show me that you want the position. And because you're not in front of me, you're going to have to do that with your voice. I want to hear the energy. I want to hear the excitement. I want you to explain to me why I should present you to the hiring manager, because that's what this is. This is a kind of preview for the hiring manager. This is a time for me to decide as a recruiter if you're going to be in my top 3 to 5. I could potentially be phone screening 20, 30 people for this position. I'm only going to pass on 3 to 5 to the hiring manager. So I want you to show me in your voice why you should be in that top 5. And I say, no amount of energy is too much on the phone. You have to compensate for the fact that you're not in front of them. So be energetic, be excited. It's okay to be passionate, and especially on the phone when they can't see your face and read your body language and some of those other things that typically help people identify that you're excited. You're going to have to do it all with your voice. So be energetic. Don't feel like you're being obnoxious. I think it's okay to be a tad bit obnoxious when you're talking about why you can do the job, why you would be excited to work for that company, why you'd be a good fit. Last thing, I want you to ask me if you are a good fit. I want to know that you care about what I think. And you realize that I'm the gatekeeper. If I'm on the phone with you, I am the gatekeeper that is either going to let you go on to the next step or keep you from it. And so at the end of the interview, ask me if you're a good fit. Ask me if I have any questions about your background, or from everything I've heard so far, do I see that you would be a good fit for the position? Give me the opportunity to say, well, yeah, you do seem to be a good fit, or no, I'm not so sure. I think I'm a little worried about this or that. And so I want you to ask me. I want to know that you want the job, and asking me if you're a good fit, asking me if I'm thinking of passing you on is absolutely okay. I think it's good to be bold in this situation. And so don't be afraid to ask me if I'm going to pass you on to that next step. You need to remember that in phone screens there's a lot of competition. As I said, I had 4 positions. I probably did 30 to 40 phone screens. I'm not even exaggerating. Probably 10 at least for each position, probably more. So there was a ton of competition, and I only passed on 3 per position. So there is a ton of competition in phone screens, and you are only going to get a face-to-face interview if you pass the phone screen. So you have to think of it in that way. You have to really ace the phone screen, take it very seriously. It's not something that you can just kind of fly by the seat of your pants. You want to be prepared. You want to be in a quiet place. You want to have, great questions, even if it's only 30 minutes. My phone screens are typically only 30 minutes, but in 30 minutes I can definitely tell if the person's excited, if they're passionate about the business, if they're passionate about the job that I'm hiring for. So make sure that you ace that phone screen so that you can move on to the next step. I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, if you have a question, you can leave it right on the Facebook wall. I'm going to put the link down below. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks.